Morning in Nellua was quiet. The temple bells rang low in the distance. The canals flowed gently, and the air was slightly cold. As always, I walked toward the Bureau of Memory. At the heart of the kingdom stood the priesthood and the council, side by side. The House of Nobles and the People's Assembly, two political bodies, shared the same square, locked in silent tension. But the assembly no longer functioned. The nobles held silence as virtue, while the citizen representatives found meaning in raising their voices. Yet neither spoke of the kingdom's future. The royal family remained as a symbol, but said nothing. There was no army, only the police maintained order. Lately, I'd heard they were cracking down on ideological deviants. Some had even lost their memory stones simply for speaking of the outside world. The market overflowed with fruit. But in the back alleys, children cried for water. The gap between rich and poor was painfully visible. Children of nobles and the wealthy played in aerial gardens, while most citizens' children went straight to work after school, polishing crystal, sorting herbs, transporting memory stones. They spent more time earning than playing. I work as an assistant at the Bureau of Memory, organizing civilian memories. Still young, and far from becoming a record keeper like my father, he has long been entrusted with preserving and classifying memory. I've only just arrived at the threshold of that door. In this kingdom, we are taught that memory belongs to the gods. But I believe memory is someone's voice. And I hope that voice may reach someone, someday. So today, as always, I continue to organize memory. When I return home, the murmurs of the kingdom feel a little more distant. We live in a corner of Nelliua's high-rise housing. This kingdom is a maritime nation, its cities built upon scattered islands. Land is scarce, with no room to expand outward. So dwellings rise vertically, stacked toward the sky. The high-rises themselves are the very structure that sustains the kingdom's everyday life. We live in the middle-tier residences, meant for the middle class. Above us are the exclusive floors for nobles and the wealthy. Below, rows of modest rooms for laborious. The middle floors are home to citizens with education and professions. Simple, but clean, lined with shelves of memory stones and pots of wheat. We couldn't afford luxury, but having our family together was the greatest comfort of all. Noah is 5. A lively, energetic boy. He runs around from morning, climbing up and down the nearby stairs again and again. "Watch me, Mama," he shouts, dashing off like the wind. Just the other day, he stuck his hand into a neighbor's crystal planter, and we had to go apologize. But he meant no harm. He's simply bursting with curiosity about the world. That curiosity dazzles me, and sometimes, it scares me a little. My husband, Els, is a canal engineer. He reads the flow of water and maintains the city's circulation. As long as the water flows, the kingdom lives, he says with a smile. But sometimes, I feel uneasy. There are moments when I think I want another child. Els said he'd like a girl, a little sister for Noah. But the cost of education weighs heavily. In this kingdom, to build even a modest status, one must enter a prestigious university. Without academic credentials, you cannot work in fields that touch memory. Education is overheated, and the middle class struggles desperately to protect its place. Having a child becomes less a prayer for the future, and more a calculation. I disliked that part of myself. I was fortunate. Thanks to my parents' support, I was able to attend a renowned university. I entered the Bureau of Memory because my father was a memory keeper. He showed me the path. But I don't work in his department. I serve as an assistant, organizing the memories of the people. I take pride in my work. But to pass that pride on to the next generation, the wall feels far too high. That night, the kingdom was bathed in light. This celebration commemorated the beginning of the monarchy. Long ago, this land was known as Lemuria, a peaceful civilization that cherished spirituality and harmony with nature. But then, an enemy appeared from beyond, the Zork's empire. After a long and bitter war, a hero rose and founded the House of Atlantis. That was the beginning of the kingdom. Weapons were cast aside, and the civilization turned to the preservation of memory. We were celebrating that vow. Crystal lanterns floated in the sky, and the entire city was bathed in pale blue light. Lights drifted along the canals, and the scent of herbs wafted from the aerial gardens. The people sang, danced, and storytellers recited fragments of memory. Across the kingdom, memory was spoken, memory was honored. Noah looked up at the sky, his eyes shining. "Mama, those aren't stars, right? Are they flying?" I smiled and replied, "Those are lights of memory. We float them into the sky so they might reach someone." He nodded as if satisfied, then ran off again. Watching him, I felt tears welling up. Yet behind the celebration, there was a quiet unease. Police patrolled the streets, their eyes sharp for ideological dissent. The noble seats were lavishly adorned, while the citizen seats were covered with nothing but plain cloth. We were celebrating memory. But whose memory was it? I knew there were voices that were spoken and voices that were silenced. If this night remains in Noah's memory, that alone is enough. But I knew the light of this kingdom was beginning to fade. I etched that night into crystal. The kingdom's light, Noah's voice, the scent of herbs, and the presence of silence. If someone someday finds this memory, it will be proof that we lived. The morning after the celebration, the wind had stopped. The canals flowed sluggishly, and the air felt heavy. The sky over the capital, Neliua, was clear. But something was different. Too quiet. That sensation clung to my skin. In this kingdom, a select few possess a telepathic ability known as shared sense. With training, one can exchange fragments of emotion and thought with others. It moves faster than words, deeper than memory. A technology that connects the heart of the kingdom. As an assistant, I had learned a simplified form of shared sense. I could sense Noah's unease before he cried. Even when Els was silent, I could feel his tension. It was a sense meant to protect family. But that morning, in the shared sense training hall, everyone felt a murmur, an unspoken anxiety rising from the depths of the kingdom. One memory keeper recorded, "Someone is screaming, but no one is opening their mouth." Normally, shared sense was calm like gentle waves. But that day, it was riddled with intermittent noise. Someone's anger, someone's fear, someone's vision, all tangled together. Fragmented images, bursts of emotion, strings of meaningless words. They poured into the back of my mind. The priests remained silent. They were supposed to be the strongest sharers, yet they said nothing. That frightened me more than anything. And that night, A comet appeared in the sky, glowing red. Its tail stretched slowly across the heavens above the kingdom. Everyone looked up, but no one spoke. Only the murmur of shared sense grew louder. Fear, awe, and the unspoken presence of an ending. I couldn't sleep. My chest stirred, my breathing shallow. Even looking at Noah's sleeping face didn't calm me. Els slept beside me, but I felt the comet's light reaching into his dreams. I reached for the shelf of memory stones. They were cold to the touch. Something was approaching. I could feel it, but I couldn't do anything. The murmur of shared sense had entered me too. It wasn't someone else's fear. It was mine.
When I stand before the memory stone, words fail me. What was etched into this stone were fragments of life, questions, prayers, and a quiet fear. The light of the festival night, the red glowing comet, the anxious night wrapped in the murmur of shared sense. I am listening, and I am recording as a memory keeper. No, I am far too fragile to call myself that now. When the kingdom sank, I should have fulfilled my duty to protect memory, to classify it, to pass it on to the future. But all I did was listen to voices as they crumbled. I knew where those voices came from, but my hands, as a record keeper, trembled. Still, I continue to speak, to carry the voices within this stone to someone, somewhere. I believe that is the last task left to me. This is not my record. This is a memory of someone who witnessed the end of the kingdom, the final glow of Atlantis before it sank.